This is an April update on my 112 gallon average reef. There have been a few changes this month. I went through not one but two problems with my lighting. One of my Kessel power supplies died, and the T5s that light up the front of the tank have also died. It took about 4 days to get a replacement power supply for the Kessels, and in that time there was no light on the right side of the tank, and I still haven't gotten the new T5 fixture for the front. Other than that though, I've added a new Acanthophillia. It's the one on the left that's new. While it does look relatively similar to the one on the right, when you closely examine them, they're actually quite different. The new one has a lot of teal and green and a little bit of purple, whereas the old one is a little bit more of a light blue in the center and it has a lot more red. Both of them are almost always expanded. Actually, normally it's the new one that's bigger, but while I shot this, the old one looks bigger. They both max out at least 6 inches in diameter, maybe slightly more even. They're great corals that look absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, they are quite pricey though. Besides the new colony, I lost a colony, which is quite rare for this tank. I mentioned there was no light on this side. There used to be an acro colony here. You can see the green leather is already stretching to where it used to be. Keep in mind that this acro was continually touched by the leather and also stung by this Goniopora. So that, in combination with not having light over it for 4 days and a slight alkalinity spike, is probably what drove it to RTN. It really only took a day or two before it melted away, so I just pulled it right out and you can hardly tell something's missing. I don't think the alkalinity spike really had anything to do with it. It may have pushed it over the edge. The reason why I say that is I have an identical colony on the other side of the tank. This one is doing fine, it's growing great. I have replacement frags should something happen to it. So it's really not that big of a loss that I did lose the other one. I almost never show my Rhizo anymore just because it's gotten tucked away. It doesn't quite puff up as much, probably because it doesn't get as much flow. Things like this elegance coral have just swelled and swelled and swelled, so it's blocking out some of the flow. And since the Rhizo doesn't require light, it's fine to be tucked under there. Most of my other NPS are doing well, like this Dendro colony here, which is almost always out and puffy. Unlike the other one, which is an unknown species of Dendrophilia. I've never seen this coral open, not once, but clearly it's still alive. You can really see at the bottom here the shadowing without the T5s. While this is all pretty much a low light corals that don't matter too much as far as getting more lighting, the shadows are really an eyesore, and I'll have to do something about it eventually. Unfortunately, these days you can't just find a dual bulb, a dual 48-inch T5 fixture easily and cheaply. I don't really want to retrofit one, but it's looking like that's what I'll have to do. So I'll probably track down something soon to replace that. Finally, I got a supply of frozen food, which was another nearly impossible thing to get. While I can get fish shipped to me, getting frozen food has proven to be very difficult. There are no fish stores near me, so I had to really bug a lot of places till finally I got Bayside Corals in Saskatchewan to send me a box of frozen food and dry ice. Of course, I gotta show the side view, my favorite view. Given the limitations of this tank, I would say this view is nearly perfect. Everything is filled in exactly as I would like it to be. Corals on all sides and many different types and colors. Of course, I would like a bigger tank, but for what I'm working with, this is working out pretty good. If I didn't look from the side, I'd probably never see corals like this chalice or this blastomusa, which is doing quite well as well. Overall, I am still really happy with the tank. A lot of my attention has been on breeding clownfish, but I've been careful not to neglect this tank. The only downside to having all these baby clownfish is I need to get more quarantine tanks so I can finally add more fish to this tank. That's about all I have for this month. As always, there'll be another video on this tank next month. If you have any constructive criticism, I love to hear it. Leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy reefing.